Guys, welcome back. First I just want to say that I sound a little weird because I am sick, and this is why I'm dressed like this, but I really wanted to talk about this case, which is definitely the most bizarre, strange, kind of sad case that I've heard in a while. And so today we're going to be talking about 19-year-old Bryce Laspisa. So he was a college student from California. He was a graphic design major. He was very talented. He really enjoyed what he did for this major. He was just very good at everything that he did. He was very charming. He had a lot of friends. He was an only child, but was very close to his parents. From what I know, they had a very close relationship and very open with each other. So Bryce had a girlfriend named Kim, and for a while everything was good. They were just enjoying life and college. He had a girlfriend and lots of friends and was just enjoying life. A normal college kid. However, around August 30th, 2013, Bryce had called his mom and they were talking about school, life, and just some updates, and everything sounded okay. But Bryce did say that he wanted to talk with them about some things. A few days later, his mom actually received a call from Bryce's roommate, and he was telling her that Bryce was not acting like himself. He was acting strange, and that he was concerned for him. A few days later, Bryce had sent his girlfriend a text message saying that she's better off without him. Now, this is not a good sign. This can either mean that they're breaking up, or that he could think of possibly harming himself. This is kind of a common saying with people who are about to hurt themselves. Bryce had been drinking a lot, according to his roommate and his friends. Now, he is a college student, and in college there's a lot of alcohol. This is kind of the normal thing for people to be drinking and just having fun, just enjoying college. However, he may have been drinking in excess. Maybe he was depressed and he felt like alcohol was the only solution. I know that when people are stressed or depressed, they can drink more, and it's just not a good cycle. So, according to his friends, he was drinking about 2 bottles per weekend. Now this is a lot. This can definitely affect your behavior. This can change you. Alcohol in excess is really just not good. And also, according to Bryce's friend, Bryce was using the ADHD drug called Vyvanse. This is pretty popular for college kids, for them to study all night and really concentrate. I've never used this drug, but from what I hear, it's very strong and not something to be taken lightly, I guess. His friends, Bryce's behavior started to change after this drug. They said he wasn't himself, just acting strange and a little depressed. So the next day, while Bryce was at his girlfriend Kim's house, Bryce's mom received a call, but it wasn't from Bryce, it was from Kim. She stated that Bryce was acting strange and that she kind of feared for him, so she took his keys so that he couldn't drive. Bryce got on the phone with his mom, and he said, no, I'm fine to drive, everything is okay. but we just broke up, Kim and I, so she's a little upset. You know, maybe this is the reason why she took my keys. His parents offered to actually fly up and see him. They were kind of concerned. This is the second person that had told them that Bryce was acting strange, so they offered to fly up and to see him. However, he said no. You know, it's okay, I will talk to you about it later. And he said in his own words that there was a lot he wanted to talk about. As far as I know, he did not elaborate on this. He just wanted to talk about something. Kim gave him his keys back, and Bryce was on his way. He told his parents that he was going to sleep it off, so they thought everything was okay. So the next day, his parents received a call from their auto insurance provider, and they said that they had helped someone with a vehicle with a roadside assistance. His roommates and asked, you know, where is Bryce? Is he okay? What's going on? And they actually informed her that he had not been home the whole entire day, and he didn't come home the night before. So this is kind of a little alarming to hear. You know, he wasn't at his girlfriend's house because they broke up. You know, where is he? What is he doing? So the service provider said that the car was serviced near Buttonwillow, California, and that they had brought Bryce 3 gallons of gas because he had run out. So the service provider, being the nice man that he is, offered to go and check on Bryce in the spot that he was last at. And now, you know, he thought, okay, I doubt that he will be here, but it's worth a shot if he's there. He offered his parents that he would go and check on him. So at this point, once the service provider reached the spot where he had given Bryce the gas, about 3 hours had passed, and to everyone's shock, when he got there, Bryce was still there. He was still sitting there in his car. Not really an explanation, just kind of lingering. And, you know, this was a bit of a concern to his parents. You know, what are you doing? Why are you still here? You know, something wrong. So Bryce talked to his parents on the phone, and he really had no explanation. He kind of just brushed it off to, oh, I'm just hanging around. So he told his parents at this point that he will go and drive to them. This was a couple of hours away, so they expected it would take some time. However, hours went by and he still did not show up to his parents' house. He should have been there. The service provider, again, wanted to help in any way he can, so he checked on him again, and Bryce was still in the same position. Now, by now it had been nearly 6 hours that he was just sitting here. Something is wrong. Something is clearly wrong. Like, what are you doing? You know, it's just not normal behavior. His parents were concerned, obviously, and at this point they filed a missing persons report. I'm not sure around what time. It's a bit confusing to try to pinpoint it, but something was wrong, so they called the police. And the police went and they met him. They met Bryce where he was staying at in his car, and they conducted a sobriety test. So thinking maybe he is, you know, under the influence of alcohol or maybe drugs, what's going on? So he appeared normal, he passed the sobriety test, and he told the cops that he was just there to kind of blow off some steam. And that everything was okay. He just wants to, I guess, get away for a little while. So he is an adult, so there's not much that they could do. If he wants to, kind of run away or stay somewhere and not be bothered, then he has every right. So the police called his parents and they said, okay, he's here, he's okay. We searched his car. Again, there was no drugs. We gave him a sobriety test and he passed. They said, would you feel comfortable if we kept him or in our custody, or should we just let him go on his way? And they said, okay, if he appears normal, not under any drugs or acting kind of crazy, they said let him go. So the mechanic, the service provider, actually was a lot of help to the parents, and he said, I can check one more time to make sure that Bryce is on his way to you, that he gets onto the highway, and I will follow him for a few miles if you want. His parents really appreciated that, and they said yes. So Bryce was still in the same spot at this point, and it had been so long. At this point, 10 to 12 hours. So something is wrong. Why are you stalling? Even the service provider was a bit concerned. So he did actually follow Bryce into the highway for about 10 miles. Again, he called his parents after that and said, okay, I followed him. He's on the highway. He's on his way to you. So all is okay for a while. So during this drive, his parents were concerned, obviously, at this point. So they really wanted to keep in contact with him. So they had been exchanging calls and text messages throughout his drive to his parents' house. Around 2 a.m., after driving for a few hours, Bryce said to his mom, I'm exhausted, I've been driving, I need to pull over and sleep. He didn't want to fall asleep at the wheel, obviously. So, he was about an hour away from home at that point. So his parents thought, okay, no big deal. Let him sleep, he'll be here in the morning. So they hung up, and this was the last time that they heard from him. At this point, it is said that Bryce had not slept for 48 hours at least. And now this can really cause some harm to your mental well-being. If anybody out there has stayed up for a prolonged period of time, they know that this can make you miserable and angry and even delusional. So he's probably really not in his right state of mind. Come 8 a.m., his parents wake up to their doorbell ringing. They think, okay, it's Bryce. He's here, he slept, he finally made it. Instead, it was not Bryce. It was a highway patrolman. He asked them if they owned a 2003 Toyota Highlander. And they said, yes, my son drives this car. And he says, well, we found it crashed. It had gone down a 25-foot embankment. The car was on its side. The front bumper was smashed. It's just wrecked. So they also found that the back window was shattered out from the inside out. So they believe that he broke the window and escaped. Again, Bryce was not in the vehicle. His phone and laptop were found inside. He did not take this with him. His wallet was found on the outside of the car. So again, this is a bad sign. He did not bring his wallet with him or his laptop, his phone. He just left with himself, just himself. There were a small amount of blood that was found, but nothing to suggest any significant injury, just a few drops. And again, Bryce was not in the car, so they know that he did manage to at least leave this area. It was actually on top of a hill, and there's a lake, and from this point on top of the hill, when you're up there, the lake appears to be right there at the bottom of this hill. This is kind of an optical illusion. It's actually further, but from this point at the top of the hill. It looks like it appears closer. So the cops said that they actually believe Bryce intended to end his own life by crashing this car, and they believe that he thought the lake was much closer than it really was, and that this was what he was trying to do. Unfortunately, there was no sign of braking. There were no skid marks, apparently. It was in full acceleration, which is not a good sign. Again, everything is just pointing to, yeah, maybe he was trying to harm himself. So the cops conducted a huge search. They had helicopters, bloodhounds, people on foot, just combing the whole area of this hill and this lake. There was no sign of Bryce anywhere to be found. So they decided to bring in some bloodhounds, and 2 of the bloodhounds actually picked up Bryce's scent. It went from the car across the dam, through the park, and actually towards a truck stop at the end of the this lake area. Then the scent stopped. So the police believe that he willingly ran away. Maybe he got a ride with a trucker. Where is he? He's nowhere to be found. There's no body. There's nothing. So the police wanted to kind of start from scratch. They wanted to talk to his friends, kind of see what was going on, if there were any clues. Again, his friends did confirm that he was taking the drug Vyvanse with alcohol, possibly. He was drinking excessively. And they did confirm that every time he took this drug, he would act strange, not himself, just not like the usual Bryce. And no doubt, you know, this is a hardcore drug, and mixed with alcohol. You don't want to ever mix alcohol with any drugs, ever. This is a bad combination. It can lead to side effects, hallucinations, anger problems, psychotic breaks, and death. So really, you don't want to do this. So his roommates also told the police that Bryce had started to give away his belongings. Now, this is a bad sign. This typically points to someone running away, or somebody